So 250 years ago, right now, the revolution was well underway. The American Revolution had been started. The Continental Congress was meeting in this building, Independence Hall. And one thing I've been doing every day is just checking letters that the Founding Fathers wrote back and forth to each other. So I figured I'd check today and see if I find anything interesting and share it with you. I've got my laptop right here. So I'm gonna be looking down and checking for letters.
As usual, let's start with George Washington's weather report for June 18th, 1775. He said it was warm and but little wind, clear. Very warm and but little wind, clear. Yeah, that seems about right. Although today was cold in the morning, so lowering to the forenoon. And then it got warm. Now, for the rest of the letters today, there are several interesting ones. There's Abigail Adams to John Adams. The day, perhaps the decisive day, is come on which the fate of America depends. My bursting heart. And then John Adams to Abigail Adams. This letter, I presume, will go to the brave and amiable George Washington. And then from John Adams to Elbridge Gerry. Let's quickly click into that one. I have at last obtained liberty by a vote of Congress to acquaint my friends with a few of the things that have been done. This is a really good summary of everything that Congress has done. So let's read it. I have voted, or rather a committee of the whole House have unanimously agreed that a sum of $2 million be issued in bills of credit for the redemption of which, in certain numbers of years, 12 colonies have unanimously pledged themselves. The Congress has likewise resolved that 15,000 men shall be supported at the expense of the continent, 10,000 at Massachusetts, and 5,000 at New York, and that 10 companies of riflemen be sent immediately, 6 from Pennsylvania, 2 from Maryland, and 2 from Virginia, consisting of 68 privates in each company, to join our army at Boston. These are said to be all exquisite marksmen, and by means of the excellence of their firelocks, as well as their skill in the use of them, to send sure destruction to great distances. General Washington is chosen commander-in-chief. General Ward, the first major general, and General Lee, the second. The last has not yet accepted. And Major Gates, adjutant general. Lee and Gates are experienced officers. We have proceeded no further as yet. I have never in all my lifetime suffered more anxiety than in the conduct of this business. The choice of officers and their pay have given me great distress. Lee and Gates are officers of such great experience and confessed abilities that I thought their advice in a council of officers might be of great advantage to us. But the natural prejudices and virtuous attachment of our countrymen to their own officers made me apprehensive of difficulties. But considering the earnest desire of George Washington to have the assistance of these officers, the extreme attachment of many of our best friends in the southern colonies to them, the reputation they would give to our armies in Europe, and especially with the ministerial generals and army in Boston, as well as the American merit of them both, I could not withhold my vote from either. The pay, which has been voted to all the officers, which the Continental Congress intends to choose, is so large that I fear our people will think it extravagant and be uneasy. Mr. Adams, Mr. Payne, and myself used our utmost endeavors to reduce it, but in vain. Those ideas of equality, which are so agreeable to us natives of New England, are very disagreeable to many gentlemen in the other colonies. They had a great opinion of the high importance of a continental general, and were determined to place him in an elevated point of light. They think of the Massachusetts establishment too high for the privates and too low for the officers, and they would have their own way. I hope the utmost politeness and respect will be shown to these officers on their arrival. The whole army, I think, should be drawn up upon the occasion, and all the pride, pomp, and circumstance of glorious war displayed. No powder burned, however. There is something charming to me in the conduct of Washington, a gentleman of one of the first fortunes upon the continent, leaving his delicious retirement, his family and friends, sacrificing his ease, and hazarding all in the cause of his country. His views are noble and disinterested. He declared when he accepted the mighty trust that he would lay before us an exact account of his expenses and not accept a shilling for pay. The express waits. So that was a letter from John Adams to Elbridge Gerry. Let's now see what George Washington himself had to say to his wife, Martha Washington. Philadelphia, June 18th, 1775. To Martha Washington. My dearest, I am now set down to write to you on a subject which fills me with inexpressible concern, and this concern is greatly aggravated by it and increased when I reflect on the uneasiness I know it will give you. It has been determined in Congress that the whole army raised for the defense of the American cause shall be put under my care, and that it is necessary for me to proceed immediately to Boston to take upon me the command of it. You may believe me, my dear Patsy, when I assure you, in the most solemn manner, that, so far from seeking this appointment, I have used every endeavor in my power to avoid it, not only from my unwillingness to part with you and the family, but from a consciousness of it being a trust too great for my capacity, and that I should enjoy more real happiness and felicity in 1 month with you at home than I have the most distant prospect of reaping abroad, if my stay was to be 7 times 7 years. But as it has been a kind of destiny that has thrown me upon this service, I shall hope that my undertaking of it is designed to answer some good purpose. You might, and I suppose did, receive from the tenor of my letters that I was apprehensive I could not avoid this appointment, and I did not even pretend to intimate when I should return. That was the case. It was utterly out of my power to refuse this appointment without exposing my character to such censures as would have reflected dishonor upon myself and given pain to my friends. This I am sure you could not and ought not to be pleasing to you, and must have lessened me considerably in my own esteem. I shall rely therefore confidently on that Providence which has heretofore preserved and been bountiful to me, not doubting but that I shall return safe to you in the fall. I shall feel no pain from the toil or the danger of the campaign. My unhappiness will flow from the uneasiness I know you will feel at being left alone. I therefore beg of you to summon your whole fortitude and resolution and pass your time as agreeably as possible. Nothing will give me much sincere satisfaction as to hear this, and to hear it from you, from your own pen. If it should be your desire to remove into Alexandria, as you once mentioned upon an occasion of this sort, I am quite pleased that you should put it in practice, and Lund, Washington, may be directed by you to build a kitchen and other houses there proper for your reception. If, on the other hand, you should rather incline to spend good part of your time among your friends below, I wish you to do so. In short, my earnest and ardent desire is that you would pursue any plan that is most likely to produce content and a tolerable degree of tranquility, as it must add greatly to my uneasy feelings to hear that you are dissatisfied and complaining at what I really could not avoid. As life is always uncertain, and common prudence dictates to every man the necessity of settling his temporal concerns whilst it is in his power, and whilst the mind is calm and undisturbed, I have, since I came to this place, for I had not time to do it before I left home, got Colonel Pendleton to draft a will for me by the directions which I gave him, which will I now enclose. The provision made for you, in case of my death, will, I hope, be agreeable. I have included the money for which I sold my own land to Dr. Mercer in the sum given you, as also all other debts. What I owe myself is very trifling, Carey's debt excepted, and what would not have been much if the bank stock had been applied without such difficulties as he made in the transference. I shall add nothing more at present, as I have several letters to write, but to desire you will remember me to Millie and all friends, and to assure you that I am, with most unfeigned regard, my dear Patsy, your affectionate George Washington. P.S. Since writing the above, I have received your letter of the 15th, and have got 2 suits of what I was told was the prettiest muslin. I wish it may please you. It cost 50 shillings, a suit that is 20 shillings a yard. So here are the footnotes. There are many footnotes, but I think we'll leave it for there for now. So as you can see, and maybe guessed from the recording, I am traveling right now, and I am currently sitting in the Philadelphia airport. I hope you'll forgive the background noise and the poor recording of this video on such an auspicious occasion as the letter that George Washington wrote to his wife after he was given the commission by the Congress to lead the army. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of George Washington's letter to his wife, Martha Washington. Thanks, take care, and see you tomorrow.